All right. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage, and I am going to do a little something with embossing folders. This is not my typical um, thing that I would do today, but this is sort of, oh man, I left my closet door open. You can see how messy it is in there. I'm gonna shut it just so that you don't have to be distracted by that, although that was probably super distracting. And my room's sort of messy anyway, but the embossing folder I want to use today is the Christmas Tidings. This is a very simple one. This is one of Stampin' Up's thinner ones. It's available right now, and like any product, if you want it, you better get it right away because it might disappear anytime. And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to put my camera down and we'll see if it successfully does that. It looks like it did that really well, actually. I was kind of surprised. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. Sort of just depends. And I think I don't usually do stuff just on YouTube. I do it on Facebook and then load it up to YouTube. And so today I am doing this here on Facebook or YouTube. And hopefully it all works out. And I think I've got, yeah, pretty good there. All right, so we've got it all covered. There's some things you can do with embossing folders that you cannot do in any other way. But you have to kind of know what the materials are that you're going to want to use, because not every material gets the same results. So I'm not showing you every kind of thing you can do with embossing folders. This is just what I've been doing with this particular one for the holidays. So first of all, let's go ahead and just see how beautiful it looks on a piece of foil. Now in our Stampin' Up! Catalog, you've got regular foils. We've got gold, silver. This is actually copper, but it's really super close to what foil looks like, whether it's gold or, gold and copper is pretty similar. I'm also going to do, this is paper. Now that is not something that we have right now, but sometimes we do have paper that is a gold. This is actually not gold. This is a darker one, and I couldn't find my gold paper. I think I might have used all of it up, which is sad because, oh, there's a piece. I am going to actually use this tiny piece because it will show better what I want to do with it. But we'll use that one here in a minute. But right now, this regular piece of gold foil is going to work out just great. So I hope you are having a wonderful day. I am having a great day today. It is so nice outside. I did not do my bike ride like I should have, but oh well. That's partly because it was raining. Well, not even really a rain, just kind of a sprinkle, and I used that as an excuse to not go out and ride my bike. Now, though, it's sunny. Well, I said that, but now that I'm looking, I just now looked out, and you're not sunny out there anymore. You're slightly cloudy, so right now would be the perfect time to go. Now, for embossing, you know what? You're going to just want to make the sandwich that fits your machine, whatever machine you've got. This is our standard base plate that goes with the cutting and embossing machine. This is a plate. Boy, it's dirty. I should clean my plates once in a while. This is a strictly embossing folder plate. That's one reason I haven't bothered to clean it. Look at all the red ink that was on that. That's because of what I just did with this embossing folder. I can't believe I left it that messy. That was really bad of me. Don't let that happen. It'll transfer ink to your cardstock, and I'm sure glad I saw that before running things through. That I would not have liked that. It's slightly different thinness than your other cutting plates. Okay, you can see this cutting plate is actually a lot thinner. And you can actually also get a very thin plate. You can even just double up cardstock to make stuff fatter. Now, I've got also a magnetic plate. And this magnetic plate is slightly fatter than this one. And I'm telling you all of that just to say you have to sort of feel as you roll things through, you have to feel how fat it needs to be. I know that sounds weird, but you just do. That's because some of our folders are much fatter than others. This is a regular little skinny folder. This is a 3D type folder. You can see how much fatter it actually is, almost, I'd say, 1/16 of an inch fatter, which is quite a lot in embossing world. So you have to feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm assuming that I've done it before. I'm pretty sure it's going to work with just this plate and this plate. And make sure you're putting where the title or the name, the Stampin' Up! Name is. That's the front of the folder. And it is going to emboss and push up here, and you're going to have a nice raised surface on the front. If I wanted it to be debossed, I would turn it over and then it would be debossed into it. So, but I don't want it to be down into it. I want it to be raised because of what because of what I'm doing. You can do different things, though. I'm telling you that because you might want to do the other debossed sometime. There's some nice, oh, I can feel it. Now see, if you can move your plate, that means it is not fat enough, not even close to fat enough. So what I'm going to do is just switch it out, and this is my magnetic plate, which I know is a little bit fatter, and that one is going to make that press down and actually emboss the foil that I've got in there, okay? Now, oh, good. It was a little rough to start. It's because I've got it off-centered. Let me put this in the machine actually the right way. I'm kind of on the side and can't see what I'm doing. If you don't know who I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Springfield, Missouri. I almost said Minnesota. Why did I say that? No, Missouri. We love it here. It's beautiful and wonderful and nice. All right, now that is gorgeous. Look at that. I am going to love that. You don't have to do anything to that. Slap that puppy on a card. It is going to be gorgeous. All right, now another thing that you can do, though, with your embossing folder is take this paper. Okay, it helps to, really almost any paper that is not Stampin' Up! Paper is going to have a separate center color to it. Like you can tell if you tear it, there's slightly different coloring there. So then that tells me that is going to emboss quite nicely into something else. So I'm going to go ahead and take my embossing folder again. I'm going to put, I didn't cut this paper, so I'm putting it in the wrong way. You don't want to put it in this way because you want your folder to run through this way and not this way. But I am doing it the wrong way, and if you aren't doing it all the time, it'll be fine. It actually just won't hurt your machine at all. It just might mess up the sides of your embossing folder a tiny bit. But this is a piece of paper, so it's going to go through a lot easier than that foil did, just because that foil is just a tiny bit fatter. And so let's look at it now. See how that looks now. Isn't that gorgeous? We're going to do something with this. That is not going to stay just as it is, but I'm going to set it aside for a moment. And let's do this one because I want to compare. This is just my tiny little scrap of gold paper left, and I want to compare how that's going to look with that copper, because I think I'm going to like this gold one better. I've done the gold one, and I'm going to show you the card that I did with that after I finished it all up, and I think you're going to like it. But oh, I've got it crooked, but that's okay. It's, just a skinny little piece. Okay, so that's nice. Now, another thing that we have that you want to do with your embossing folders is our white center specialty paper, 12 by 12. It's white center. I have never seen Stampin' Up! Carry this paper before. This is the first time I've ever seen them do it. I'm going to use this. It's got a subtle texture to it. So it's slightly textured. Let me throw my pack of paper down. I only am going to use this this Night of Navy sheet. And I don't want to use all of it up. So we're going to just cut away 4 inches of it on this side. And we'll use that. Okay? It's not going to be very wide, but that's okay. I don't need it to be very wide. And I only bought 1 pack of this paper, and so I'm sort of hoarding it. I don't want to use more of it than I need to because it's really nice. And I'm going to be using it for a long time. I know Stampin' Up's not going to have it around forever. So you need to get it while it's there. If you buy this paper and a whole bundle of something from me, I guarantee you I will send you a nice gift. All right, now here we go. We're going to stick this on here like this. And we're going to emboss that white 4 paper. And then I'm going to show you what we can do with it, but I'm not going to show you yet. You have to stick around to see what else I'm doing with it. It does look beautiful just as is. It does. It does. It does. But we're going to do something else with it. Now, before I do anything with those, though, I want to show you one more technique that you can use with your embossing folders, but I need a piece of white cardstock to show that. So let me grab a piece of white cardstock and cut it. I should have cut a piece out, had it ready on the side. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, 5.5 inches will be fine. And then we're gonna cut, I'm just gonna cut it. We'll just do the 4 1/4, even though that means I would have to trim it because I usually make cards that are 4 1/4 by 5.5. So, oh well, we will end up trimming it. What you want to do, and I know you've seen this before, and it's very messy. So have a wiper of some kind. In fact, I'm going to get out another one here on the side just to wipe my folder down. We're going to ink up that folder. And what you want to do, it doesn't really matter how you do it. You can only, when you ink up a folder, you're always going to get the raised portion white or whatever your cardstock color is. That's what that color is going to be. So if you want it to be colored, then you need to start with a color of cardstock that you want that to be. Now you can ink up the background, okay, which is what we're going to do. We're going to ink up the front. I know that sounds weird, but we're ink up the front because you're going to want the front of your card to be inked up. Otherwise, you're wasting your time because you're just going to glue that inked up part, down. So you want to ink up the front, but it just means that the embossed pieces are all going to be whatever this color cardstock is. So I'm going to use white because I want it to be a very sharp contrast. You could use another color, though, if you want it to be a different one. So I'm getting out real red. And we're going to just make a big mess here and ink that up. Now I'm making sure it's the front, and it is. Okay, I'm going to get ink all over the place, and because it's red, this is going to be really super messy, but we're going for it anyway. Okay, so we're just inking it all up really nice, very inky. Okay, I'm actually going to even kind of smear it. Oops, it doesn't want to smear. I'm kind of smearing it just because I see I've got like a lot of bubbles there, and I don't want a lot of bubbled effect on my card. If you want a bubbled effect, that would have been fine, but it was really bubbly and I didn't want that. So I think that's probably inked up good, and we're going to shut that. I'm going to check my hands. See, I got ink all over it. Try to keep that ink away from stuff as much as possible. All right, now we've got that done. Let's slide this puppy over again. We're going to put our cardstock in here very carefully because once it's in there, we want it to stay right put. Okay, I don't want it shifting around. All right, it is in, and now we're going to go ahead and emboss it. Now you can put it up or down. It doesn't matter which way. In fact, I'm going to do it this way because I can see my ink is like inking out all over, and I'd rather have it inking up onto this than onto my platform because it might squish out. I mean, it's going to get squished here as you emboss, so that ink might just squish out. That's how it got on my plate before. You see, I've got some ink there, so we'll get that off before I forget that it's on there. Okay, so that's done. And then this off, and I can see that I even got some here. Okay, so we'll get that off, and then I'm going to remove this before I get ink all over everything else on it. I was actually using, what was it? It was like one of the berry ones that are like super reddish. Oh, it's got that bubbly effect. I don't like that bubbly effect, but I would have had to have smeared a lot more, ink on it to get that off. But I'm going to live with it because I am not going to ink up another folder. I'm going to take this and wash this in my kitchen with soap, because look at this. I mean, it's a huge mess. I mean, a super huge mess. Once you've done this, it's like you've ruined that embossing folder forever. No, you really haven't, but you're never going to have enough wipes to clean it enough. It's going to be a big mess, and you're gonna have to take it in and wash it with water and soap to get that cleaned off. But it'll cut clean off. I'm trying to just kind of get it cleaned off to a great degree just so I can work here because it's so messy. I just saw our lawnmower guys go by. Oh no, he's probably gonna make a big noise with his lawnmower, but I don't have a lot of time to go on here. This is going to be a very short day today, because I just wanted to show this technique to you. Isn't that cute? So you've got all the white. It looks really pretty. It's very stark. Now that's all I would do with that. I wouldn't do anything else with that. That can go on a card. In fact, let me just show you what I've done. What did I do with you guys? There you are. So I did white with the berry and put it on. This is that Christmas DSP that we've got. Isn't that pretty? The white with the inked up stuff, it looks great. I love it. All right. One other thing that you can do with your embossing folder is you can take I just took my pens, my blending pens, and just colored very carefully so it didn't get anywhere else, but just colored everything. And that makes a very nice, colorful, joyful, child-loving type colored card. But that actually takes a while to color. And you have to be really careful not to mess it up. You can take an ink pad or a sponge and do it, but it's never going to work. I'm just going to tell you, that never works. You always end up getting ink where you don't want it. And so you kind of have to actually just color it. Sorry, the lawnmowers are going to do it. They're just doing it, whether I want them to or not. Now, here's the white core paper. Oh boy. You're going to love what you can do with this because it has that white core. Take a piece of sandpaper. I have a sanding block here. I'm going to shove that in there. Okay, so it's holding my sandpaper down. And look at what you can do. Oh, you do need it to be a nice flat surface that it's not going into any of the grooves. And look how that does that. And then you can do kind of a rustic effect with it. It looks so gorgeous. This Night of Navy. Oh, I'm going to love this. This one's going to be so nice. You can do it a lot or a little. You can have a lot of white. Oops, I got a little too much there, so my label's going to have to go there. I peeled a little too much off. Okay, you can kind of be careful on the side if you want to get a little bit more off. Some of this will be cut off anyway, because an embossing folder usually cuts your images much, its embossing is going to cover a much bigger area than you're probably going to want on your card anyway, unless you're doing a really giant-sized card. All right, isn't that beautiful? You're going to love that. Here's what I did. Which card did I do? I did it with, I think this is Berry Burst, actually. Berry Burst and our nice little St. Nicholas there on the side. And I did not really go down too terribly far because I wanted it to have an aged look to it. You can see it kind of did the same thing there too, even though I wasn't intentionally leaving that partially done like that. It sort of just happened. You can take your You take a piece of this. You can take a piece of it off your sandpaper and gently do portions of it, but you have to be careful because it can get down to the core way more than you want it to. That's what you can do with that. Now I want to see, how does that look with this gold? What do you think? Let's see how it turns out. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like it a lot. As Jim Carrey would say in Dumb and Dumber, I like it a lot. It's cute. It's cute. It really is cute. Jeff and I have a running joke. Jeff, you know, my husband, in case you're wondering who the heck I'm talking about. Yes, he's so funny. He has this wonderful sense of humor. Anyway, he does the I like it a lot impression really well. Okay, you could, since I've kind of already messed it up, you could wrinkle it up a little bit more if you wanted to. But I did not, when I did this card, I used that gold paper and did this. It looks just a little bit pale, a version of gold on all those raised edges, and they are raised. You can see that it's raised. It pops up at you. You can feel it. It's really cool. This is the that Joy of Christmas DSP, I believe. And then this is our distressed gold paper. So you can see the distressed gold has a white backing because I haven't put this on a card yet. So this is exactly what the back of that distressed gold paper looks like. So I think it would work. But I would be careful with it because that paper actually is a little on the thin side. Now, I haven't seen how it's going to work with this yet. And I'm not going to do it with this. I know it would trash this. It would absolutely ruin it. Oh, I got to see. Let's look. It's not bad. You know, it leaves white. But what it's doing is it's sort of marring the rest of my copper. So if you wanted to do it on just a tiny bit here and there, just to give kind of an aged look to it, that might work out, but I'm going to leave it just as it is. It's beautiful. All right, this is the last one. And this one had a darker core. Remember when I peeled it back, its core was darker. So let's see. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that as well. Usually lighter is going to show a lot better against a dark background. Better than a dark on a pretty dark. This is pretty dark already. So I am thinking I'm not gonna like this one so much. Because it's paper, you do have to be careful not to sand too much. Like I said, you're gonna sand right down to tearing it, and then you just got a big mess. Okay, I can't do a lot. This is about what I'm going to get on this one. So this would be a really nice one for a guy card, I'm thinking. I'm going to go with a dark, manly, rugged, kind of a country hunting type card. I do think this might look nice. Have not done this one on a card, though, for you to be able to see how that would look. But I do think it would be nice. You can see it kind of does make a big mess, doesn't it? All right, one last embossing thing. I took the Santa Clauses. This is a new DSP. It's an online only one. And I just embossed it just as is and laid it on there. Just embossing images looks great. That's just a general background. I think that one's, I don't know, timeless texture or something. I don't really remember. And then I'm going to just throw away you could probably save it and reuse it several times. But I am done. I am not going to be doing any more embossing today. So we're going to be finished with that. And we are all done on the video. I hope that you enjoyed that and you learned something from it. Please go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it when you do that. Share my video, subscribe, post a comment. I don't show comments unless I've checked them just to be on the safe side. But if you are watching on Facebook, please comment. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Bye.